This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Any questions, guys? Anyone, any questions? Did you all try to practice the ARM template? Is it working for you? Any questions there? Anyone, any questions there? Any questions that I can take? Anyone, anything till here? Again, what we were doing yesterday is something like this. Let me see. Is there a question? No. Okay. So let me again go back here. So I did a control N, and after that, I selected my language, and I selected the language as Azure Resource Manager template out here. And once I did that, I started off by writing something called ARM, and picking up the first one called ARM exclamation. And this is giving me a blank template. This is now called as a blank template out here. After that, I went inside resources. I said ARM hyphen storage, and this gave me the entire block to create a particular storage account out here. After which I changed the name of the storage. So I'll say dev ARM ABC000 USES2, something like this, name to be unique and all these things out. I said the type here is Microsoft.storage / storage accounts. API version is something by default. I'm not changing this one as well. Tags, as I said yesterday, you can have multiple tags here. You can have, let's say, multiple tags out here, no limit as such. Location, the location in which you want to create the storage account service in. And I'll just remove this out and I'll say it is. So as and when I do this, you also get all the locations that are available in your particular subscription. So something like ECUS2. Kind is storage V2. And I'll say this is not premium LRS, but what? Standard LRS. Again, I'll take the premium out here. And all I'll do is a control plus space. Load the suggestions automatically. And I'll take this as standard out here. So I have my template ready. And how do I deploy this template? How do I create a resource out of this particular template out here? How did we deploy this template? Sorry, Azure portal. And after going to Azure portal, what should I do there? So firstly, let's save this file. Let's save this into a folder, new folder called ARM class 2. And I'll save this as a JSON. I'll save this as storage account dot JSON. And I'll go to the Azure portal, log into the Azure portal, and say deploy a custom template. And once I'm here, I'll say build your own template, and I'll say load a file. And whichever file that I have, I'll just upload this file out here, save. And now it's asking me for the resource group. I'll say create. I'll say demo rgarm. Any location of the resource group will work. I'll say east/us2. I'll say review and create this out. And once I hit the review and create button out here, it will run some validations to see whether your template is correct or all these things out here, and say create this out. And once I create this out, once I hit that particular create button, it'll go ahead, start a deployment, and it will start creating me a storage account in that particular ECUS2 region as such. So first it's going to create this particular resource group called demo ARMRG. After that, it's going sorry, after that it's going ahead and deploying something inside that particular resource group as such. So now it's creating this particular storage account with this particular name out here. So yes, any questions till here? Anything that I can take till here? Anyone? Anything that I can take till here?
What
I'm
is the
sorry.
button you have selected for access tier? Control plus?
Uh, to load the suggestions automatically. This one,
Yes. Yes, yes.
it's control plus space.
Space.
Correct.
Okay.
The
Okay,
space bar.
thank you.
Yes. Any more questions here? And you have your storage account created. You have your storage account created out here. Yes. Any questions till here? Good till here. Okay. Now my question for you all is that what if I take the same template, load the file, save it, and deploy it again? What will happen? If condition
It
happens,
will
so
accept.
it'll just
It will accept.
so if I say create, it'll just go there, check all the properties of my storage account, and all the properties match. It won't do really anything out here. So what you are doing is in very short, you have given or I have given a script to you. I said go ahead execute it out. You executed out it for the very first time. It went ahead created a storage account service for you. Good enough. Now as a client, the expectation that you had from me is that I need to give you something reusable. What do I mean by reusable is that each and every time you click on that particular button, you should create a new storage account for you. Each and every time you deploy this out, it should create a new storage account for you, because if this was the intention, then why did I even come to you? I could have just gone into the portal and created it, right? Why did you take so much of effort to just create me one template just to create one particular storage account out there? Remember when we were doing PowerShell also, when we were also doing a PowerShell script out there, when I was saying new hyphen AZ storage account, hyphen name of the storage account, and if I give dev store abc000, if I put this in an if else condition also, no matter how many times you run the script will just tell you that you know what, the storage account already exists. But what I want to do as a DevOps engineer or as an administrator is that I want to give you the freedom to go ahead and declare any name that you want. Whichever name that you want, go ahead and declare it. The script should go ahead and create that particular storage account service. Then in PowerShell, what did we do to allow that particular freedom to a particular user out there? Param blocks, exactly. We introduced something called as a param blocks in PowerShell. We said param and we said dollar storage account name, and instead of passing the name, I pass what? Storage account name out here. So during the script execution, now this will allow you to go ahead and declare whatever name you want, and this will now check whether the name is there. If it's there, it'll tell you the name is there. If it's not, then it'll create. This is what your script does. The end purpose of automation is always reusability and avoiding human errors. Now, let's compare the same thing in ARM template. I'm so sorry, guys. I have a very sore throat today, so I'm speaking a little low. Please let me know if someone doesn't follow this out. So, same thing comparing with an ARM template out here. Do you think this is reusable? No. Why is it no? We are giving our own input out here.
Hard coded.
So hard coded. This is hard coded, meaning if I'm hard coding it like this, and if I'm giving the same template to you, you as a user or you as a client has no option to go ahead and change it. So I say that, okay, fine, whenever you load this script, whenever you are doing a deployment, I'm telling you that, please go ahead, when you are loading this file, please go ahead and manually change it here. The client will say, I don't even understand JSON. I don't even know what JSON is. If I know what JSON is, then why will I hire you? Why will I even hire you to write this template for me? I could have well written the template, avoiding the cost out here, right? This is not a solution. Please give me something easier. The point here is that you cannot hard code all these values. If you hard code it, it's just like writing a script like this, not allowing for reusability. So if you're not allowing the reusability, the purpose of automation is defeated, which I don't want. So what I'll do is like a param block in PowerShell, you have a parameter block in ARM. What exactly I mean by that is this. Let's go ahead, declare something called as a parameter. How do I declare it? Just go inside this block. Your cursor is here inside the parameter. Just do a control plus space. Control space again. I'll tell you, okay, fine. Do you want to add a new parameter? I'll say yes, I want to add a new parameter. And the entire block is added for you. A new parameter block for you. And I'll say the name of the parameter. This is the name, and these are the properties of that particular parameter block. So this is the name here, and these are all the properties. So if you just collapse this out, all the properties are inside that particular block out here. I'll say the name of the parameter is storage count name. Fair enough. The type of the parameter is what? String. You can have string, boolean, integer, and all these things. So if you look at this, array, string, boolean, object, secure object, and all these things. But for me, this is a string value. There is something called metadata, optional in nature. You can just describe what this parameter expects. Just describe out here. For example, please pass a storage account name, not more than 3 characters, or not, let's say less than 3, not more than, sorry, not less than 3 or more than 24. I can tell this in my template, and I'll just save this out. So what I did is that I declared something called as a storage account name. I said the type of this particular parameter is a string. So as a user, you are only allowed to declare a string, and then a metadata here telling that please pass a storage account name out here. And the template is still hard coded. The value here in the resource is still hard coded out here. I'll remove this hard coding, and inside these quotes, I will pass a square bracket. When I'm passing a square bracket inside a quote out here, I am calling a function. This is a function call. See, there is a difference. If I am not passing the square bracket within a quote, it's an array. If I'm passing the square bracket within a quote, I'm calling a function, and this function is called as a parameters function. What I'm doing is I'm saying the name is equal to whatever the user declares here, whatever the user declares in something called as a storage account name. So I'm calling parameters, open close brackets, storage account name. This is the declaration. what exactly this is. Let's save this out. Let's understand this a bit further. So now I am passing something called as a parameter block out here, and I'm calling the parameters block here. I'm calling whatever value you are passing into the parameters into the actual resource block. This is just like doing new -az storage account -name $name. In PowerShell, you just use a $name out here. In ARM, you cannot use a $storage account name out here. It will fail. Reason being, this is a different language than PowerShell out here. And here, I am calling something called as a parameters function. What exactly this does is that when this block is being executed or when this line is being executed, you'll say, okay, fine, there is someone or there is a call to the parameters block. Okay, fine, let me go into the parameters and check for what is the parameter called storage account name and see what is the value inside that particular storage account name, and now say name is equal to whatever value you have passed. This is what your parameters block will actually do. So then how do I pass this, or what difference does it make right now? Is now the same template, but what I'm doing, I'm adding one particular, let's say parameter block telling it a storage account name, and here I've just changed that particular parameter telling parameter storage account name out here. Let me go back into the Azure portal and let me load the file once again. Let me say custom deployment. Let me say build your own template. Same thing what I'm doing. Load this file. Loaded this file out here. Save this. Take the resource group. As and when I took a resource group, do you scroll down? Do you see what you see here? Storage account name. So it's now asking you or asking your client, whoever is using this, to go ahead and pass that particular storage account name. And do you see the I button here? Where is this coming from? The metadata description, exactly. That's the reason I've added a description block out here. So what I'll do is I'll now pass a name called demo Tuesday 000 USES2. I'm passing a storage account name like this, and this name will be given to this particular value or assigned to this particular value called storage account name, which will be passed to the parameter block here, and the template will be executed. And when the template is executed, now you will end up creating a storage account with this particular name out here. So if I do a review and create, now this is going ahead and checking whether that particular storage account is there or not. It's telling validation passed. I'll create this out. And once I create this out, it will let you know, or it will tell you how a storage account is actually created or what a storage account is actually created out here, etc. So now the deployment is in progress. And what this does is that it makes your template reusable. What do I mean by making the template reusable out here is that no matter how many ever times you deploy it, each and every time when you deploy it, it's going to ask you to pass a storage account name. If you pass an already existing storage account name in the resource group, it's just going to, let's say, go ahead, identify that, okay, fine, the storage account is there. It's not going to do anything out there. It's just going to incrementally deploy it. If the name is not there, it'll go ahead and create this out. So if you look at the resource group right now, again, it'll take some time to, kind of reflect the other storage account as well. So it's taking some time to reflect that, but let me look at storages. I have a storage account called demo Tuesday 00 something USEs2, and I have something called demo ARM 00 USEs2 out here, both created using the same template. I've used the same template out here, literally the same template, a single template. But right now, instead of hard coding all my names, I am parameterizing all my names and I'm passing all these parameters before I deploy. This is reusability for me. Any questions here on how did I use the parameter block? Anyone, any questions here?
If it is
Just
a
not
hard coded, we
understanding.
can't do use.
I'm sorry, can you come again, please?
If it is a hard coded, we can't use the reusable.
You cannot reuse it. You'll have to go into your template and change it out. You cannot reuse it if it's hard coded out there.
Okay.
Sorry, what does a string mean? A string is any name, anything, any character is a string. It's a data type. So did you attend the PowerShell classes as well? There we discuss about strings, arrays, integers, all these things out here, right? It's a data type called string. String meaning any name, anything that you pass is a string. If I pass a list of strings, it's called as an array list. If I pass a number, it's called as an integer. If I pass true or false, it's called a boolean. These are all the data types available out there. Yes, any more questions here?
Yeah, hi Kiran.
Just a second. Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Go ahead. Someone online had a question. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Uh, yeah, actually in the parameters, you wrote that one, right? Storage account name and all. That structure, how
Correct.
it came actually. Any shortcut you did like ARM hyphen.
This one, all I did was, let's again, I'll just do this once again.
That structure outline it came, right?
Now, parameters was already there. Now, when you do an
Yes,
ARM, let's say slash, parameters is already there. All I
correct.
did is a control space. When I do a control
Okay,
in a space, it says new parameters. I said new parameter out here, and the entire structure came out.
okay, okay.
And all I did is I just passed the storage account name in here,
Got it.
and I gave some metadata telling that this is a name and all that stuff. Yes, you had a question. Sorry, can you pass multiple parameters? Uh, when you say multiple parameters, what do you exactly mean out here? Definitely yes. Good question. Definitely yes. That is something that I want to, let's say, parameterize. Meaning, I only parameterize my name. I want to, let's say, parameterize the location. I want to parameterize the SKU. I want to, let's say, parameterize. Yeah, the fine. These are a couple of properties out here. So what I'll do is this is your first block, which is starting at line number 5. This is your entire block out here. Put a comma, say an enter. Again, do control space. Again, do a control space. New parameter. And I say this is location, or I'll say this is storage location out here. Again, it's a string value. I'll say please pass a location. Now this is starting at line number 11, ending at line number 16. After this, I can put a comma again and say new parameter. I'll say SKU name. Say please pass SKU and all these things. But not only declaring it, this is just the declaration part. I will also have to use it. How do I use it? Instead of telling it is ECS2, I will say in bracket parameters storage location. Instead of telling it is standard LRS, I will say in bracket parameters, not storage account name. See what are the parameters? SKU name out here. So do you see what are all the parameters that I've passed out here? Storage account name, storage location, and storage name or SKU name. And I am declaring all these things out here. I'm just doing a declaration out here. And if I save this template,
Can we have to
Mhm.
kept single quotes for parameters?
I'm sorry, can you please come again?
We have to keep single quotes storage like
For the
SKU
parameter out
name
here,
is yeah.
see again, I am not doing, let's say, see the thing is that it was like this hard coded. All I'm doing is that I am just putting a bracket. So once I hit one square bracket, it's automatically loading the other one. And once I say parameters, and once I open up the curve brackets out here, it's automatically telling all the names.
Okay.
I'm just choosing the name. taking a
Okay.
single, let's say a single bracket automatically. So I'm not, let's say, doing anything out there. I'm just choosing the name. It's automatically taking that particular name as such. Getting this? And once I save this out, let me go back into the home and let me say deploy a custom template again. Editor, I'll say load this file. I'll say save this out. And let me take that particular resource group. And you have these three parameters out here. Sync storage account, storage account SKU, and storage account and storage account location out here. So let's say demo ARM parameters US2. The location out here, I'll say it is East US2. And then the SKU name, I can say it is standard underscore LRS. And say review and create this out. And once I review and create this out, it'll try to validate everything and I'll hit the create. So you can, sorry, you can have any number of parameters that you wish to have. You can have any number of parameters. You can declare all the parameters out here inside that particular parameter block. Not only declaring it, you'll also have to understand how to call the same. And until and unless you don't go ahead and put your hands on this and try this out, you won't follow this, guys. You will have to, let's say, put your hands, try this out. Only then you'll be able to follow how to call these parameters, how to, let's say, call the block and all that stuff out here. Is there any questions still here? And again, if you look at this one, it's creating the demo ARM parameters USCs to the name that I passed, the SKU that I passed, in the location that I passed out here. And there is no hard coded value. Nowhere that I'm mentioning, let's say, the name of the parameter or the location and all these things. Nowhere I'm mentioning. I'm just declaring it out. I'm letting you, as a user who's using this template, go ahead and declare all these things out here. Any questions still here? Anyone, any questions still here that I can take? Online, offline, anything till here? Go ahead, please.
In in real-time experience, which one is most useful, like PowerShell or ARM template?
Both of them, a combination of both. It depends upon the scenario that you're working on. If you're creating something new, then ARM or Terraform, a declarative syntax is really useful. But if you are managing something, then let's say PowerShell is, let's say, more useful than ARM out there.
Okay. To modify.
Correct.
Okay. And what is bicep?
Mhm.
Is it
Azure
easier
Bicep is,
than?
again, it is similar to Terraform, something which is similar to Terraform out here. Same thing like
Mhm.
ARM. Same thing, ARM, Terraform, and Bicep, they all fall under the same plane.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Hi, can you?
someone offline. Pawan, can you just give me 1 second? I was just taking a question
Okay.
offline. I'll just come back to you once done. Someone offline had a question. Yes, go ahead, please. Hmm. There will be no options showing. Yes, we can also get the options. I'll also show you how to get the options out there.